Hello, hello. Welcome to the Asian Dating Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Paula Pardel. Paula is a professional matchmaker, and when you work with her, you don't have to worry about a thing. She'll take care of everything, filtering through online profiles and reading messages from people you don't know is tedious, daunting, and time consuming, especially when you are a busy executive. Paula has set up her matchmaking business to help you not only meet quality individuals like yourself, but the person you have always been hoping to find. Paula has been featured in many publications, such as Redfin, Style Weekly, among other publications. Welcome to the show, Paula. How are you?
I'm good, May. How are you?
I'm doing very well. We're doing very well. Thank you for meeting with me and to talk about dating, our favorite topic, of course. Gang, I've met Paula probably around, I don't know, 3 years ago, and just instantly was drawn to her by her business ethic and her business plan and who she's about and what she does for a living, and just great. I'm so glad I got to see you in Cancun recently as well. So
Oh my gosh, I know Cancun was so much fun to reconnect with everyone and to talk about love and dating and collaboration and helping each other out and helping our clients find love.
yes, yes. So what topic do you want to talk about today with everyone out there?
I think a topic that a lot of people don't cover is opening ourselves up to finding love, being open and available. I think these days it's getting harder for people to do that. They're so concerned. You go online, you look at these profiles, you go over them with a fine-tooth comb, and you pick. And some things, of course, it's important to have someone that you're attracted to, that you have things in common with, but really choosing someone for the qualities that they have that will make a longer lasting relationship and a good foundation to a relationship also. That's the most important part. When we go out into the world and we're looking for someone, we're not thinking clearly because we put out our rose colored glasses. We want someone to like us. We want to like them. And we're not thinking clearly. Whether you're an executive, a CEO, or whatever you are, we all do it. Wouldn't you agree, May?
Yeah, I feel like when I think back to when I was single and when I was dating, and I was so narrow-minded, like I was just in this tunnel and probably a bad matchmaking client if I was to sign up with a matchmaker. It's hard. I mean, you say you're going to be open-minded and you say you're going to do certain things, but then when it comes down to it, I mean, I guess online dating just has so many options. So then naturally, you're just trying to weed people out. And unfortunately, that just means the basics, right? Like looks, height, age. But
Mhm.
I always tell the clients and the people in my database, if someone meets 80% of what you're looking for, then just go out and meet them and see what they're like in real life. I mean, it's so different. Even when I talk to you on Zoom, you're completely different in real life. Like it's just natural, right?
It is. Those profiles and the photographs that you see are one dimensional. We see a photograph, we might not like it for everyone has their own reasons. um, but that it's one dimensional. When you get out and you see someone, like I'll tell someone, they'll look at a photograph, they'll look at a profile. Oh, yeah, he checks a lot of the boxes. He's okay. I just don't feel it. Like, really? You expect to feel it from seeing a picture? You need to meet this man. It's all about how he presents himself, how he treats you, and you're not going to see that until you actually see him and meet him. And the people that we set up with people are people that are dating with intention. They want to find a long-term committed relationship. And the people we set them up with have been vetted. We do background checks. We check them out. I check their social media. I make sure everything adds up before I would even present them to a client. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So how do you convince your female or male matchmaking clients to give this person a chance? Like, is there like a magical phrase you tell them or a story you tell them or like a wand that you like zap them with to make them meet this person that you recommend? I mean,
That's tough. Some people are more open-minded than others. I try to get that out before I take them as a client, and I tell them, with this process, it's only going to work if you're open-minded. I may present someone to you that may be a little bit outside of your comfort zone or your range or not your type, but I presented you this person for a reason. And I think you owe it to yourself to meet them, to see if it's going to go anywhere. And I also, in my interview process, I will tell people I'm straight. I just tell them, I think my magic wand got lost in the mail. Amazon lost it. We can't find it.
yeah, I know it's tough. I mean, I wonder if we just interview like 100 married couples who are happily married, and would they have thought that they would be married to the person that they're with now? Like, because I think about me and I think, gosh, I'm married. I've been married 5 years, been together with my husband for 15, but he was not the person I thought I would end up with. Like, our age is 10 years apart. Yeah, just he's not like the busy professional that I thought I would marry, like a lawyer or doctor. Height wasn't that important to me. I mean, I've dated guys that were 5'6" and I'm 5'6", so height wasn't important. But it's like convincing our clients today that height isn't important, and it's like there's no way they would date someone their height. Like the women who are 5'7" would never date a guy who's 5'7". So it's like, how do we let our clients know that height isn't going to make him a good husband or a good father to your kids, but these other things make a good husband? Like, how do we work with the clients to tell them what's truly important?
It's tough. Everyone will take that differently. I like to tell people, look at Hollywood, TV shows and things like that. Tom Cruise is very short. Nicole Kidman was very tall. When you see them in pictures that have been fixed or whatever, they don't show that height differentiation. And on shows, they do that too. They'll put the guy up so he doesn't look like he's shorter than the woman, and things like that. So it that isn't reality. What did they say? 15% of the population of males are over 6 foot tall, if that. And then you have to go down to, okay, how many of them are married? How many of them are available? How many of them are jerks? How many of them want a long-term committed relationship? So when you narrow it down to there, what percentage are you working with after that? Not a
Right.
whole lot, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And to
So
add to that also, I'm sorry, Meg,
that's
but
okay.
just to add to that also, I married the perfect man on paper. 6 foot tall, engineer, smart as a whip, um, worldly traveled. We traveled, had a good family, but he didn't treat me that well,
Right. Right.
so
Right.
there's that also. He's has everything on paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, do you find that the men are pickier when it comes to you setting them up, or the women are pickier?
Everybody's picky. Uh, it depends on the client. It
Yeah.
really does. Everyone's got their thing that they're picky about. And I try to hold on to that and to find that for them if it's within reason. But what do you find? Do you think the women or the men are pickier?
I feel like the women are pickier. The men are more forgiving if she's cute, if
Yeah.
she's kind, if she makes him feel good on the date. I think he'll
Mhm.
overlook some of the things that he originally said was important to him. I feel like men are more forgiving with that kind of stuff. The women, I feel like, go on the dates and have a checklist almost of, is he going to be a good husband, a good father to my kids? And it's like, how can you tell for 60 minutes or 90 minutes on a first date and you're going to put him through this huge interview process that you came up with? I don't know. I just feel like I just set up a client the other day with this woman, and she said that everything about him was great, except that she didn't feel like there was enough chemistry to go on a second date, but she couldn't say anything bad about him, like just no reason to not go on a second date. And I'm like, that's good. You don't have a reason to not go out on a second date. So why don't you just give it a chance? Because now the second date, you will be less nervous. You know who you're looking for, you know what he's about. And he wanted to see her again. And she said, no, there wasn't enough spark for a second date. I'm like, don't sparks happen like on third date for women sometimes? Because don't we fall in love with our ears and men fall in love with their eyes? I don't know. I was bummed. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. The chemistry thing that's a hard objection to get over. On the one hand, I tell people, yeah, you had a first date. You didn't feel the chemistry, but you liked him. I think you should go out with him again to see if it starts to grow. Because a lot of times when the chemistry is something that is growing slowly, it doesn't burn out as quickly. We've all had those people that we've met, and off the bat, the chemistry is just on fire. You meet for dinner and you just want to touch them and hug them, and you're feeling all that stuff. But then you're into it because for the chemistry and what your pheromones are telling you, and your brain's not working. So I think it's better to have that slow chemistry build up, take it slow, get to know each other, and then 3 dates. I think 3 dates is the minimum if you're not totally disgusted with the person.
I remember I started matchmaking about 14 years ago now. And my first wedding that I paired up, the guy wanted to go out with the girl again. And the girl told me no. She said, I don't want to see him again. And they got married. They have 2 kids. And it's because he just kept pursuing her. And he would keep asking her out, and I guess broke her down. And then she said yes. But I mean, now they're happily married. Like, you just don't know. Like, she just gave up so quickly, but because he was, you know, trying to court her and try to give her an offer she couldn't refuse, I guess they went out again. And so you just never know. I mean, there's so many couples that are out there that you're like, wait, they're together? It's like, you just don't know. It's unpredictable, right? I mean,
It is. It's completely unpredictable. You
yeah.
just, there's a lot of people talking about online right now about settling. Should you settle for your couple? And I don't like the word settle. I think compromise. With anything we do in life, we compromise, and we can compromise on some things when we're looking for someone. And I don't want you to compromise on your values and things that are very, very important to you, but there are things we can compromise on and make our finding the person to fall in love with much easier.
Yeah. Do you find that it's easier to set up men and women who want children, like scale of 1 to 10, they're like 8 or 9, like they for sure want to have kids? Are they easier to set up, or people that are going through their second phase in life? Like they've already had kids, they're divorced, they're coming out of a marriage or long-term relationship. Like, are they easier to set up, or the ones who have never been married, are they easier to set up for you?
Well, whenever you put kids in an equation, it does complicate things because we do have to watch out for our kids, and that's very important. So when you're dating, you really want to make sure that if you're going to introduce them to your kids, there's someone that is worthy of that. So I suppose, I do like working with the older people. I had a client who was a widow, and she's like, I don't know, what do I do? It's so different. I'm not going on the apps, and I'm scared. My kids are grown. I've done all that. I've got my career. Now I want to find someone for myself. I think they're more in tune to that. They've got their blinders on, and that's what they want to do at this point in their life. It is a lot about timing. So putting someone together without having to mesh families together, yeah, I would say that's a bit easier.
Yeah. 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 So what age range of the clients is your specialty? What do you prefer to work with?
You know, it's funny because when I first started this, my thought was that, most of my clients would be middle-aged, older people, divorced, widowed, what have you. But now with Richmond growing so much, I get a lot of those late 30s, early 30s, or late 20s, early 30s people that they're sick of the apps too, and they can't meet anyone either. They're beyond the school age. Some of the guys, we have a lot of techie guys, I like to call them, moving into our area. So they're so much fun to work with because they really want the help and they listen to what I say and they take my guidance for the most part.
Yeah. I have the best luck with people who come to me and say, I really want to find somebody. I'm a little lonely. I During the holidays I was pretty sad, and now it's a new year and now Valentine's Day's coming up. Like, I want to find someone by Valentine's Day, or I want to find someone by such and such time. I find that the people who come to you and say that they want to find somebody are the ones I have most success with, the ones who, admit that they're just lonely and they want to find somebody that, they're a great catch, great job, have a house, have good friends, close to their
Mhm.
family or their parents. And they're just like, I just haven't had any luck with finding somebody. And I think those are the ones that I have the best luck with, is helping them find their people. So
And it's so satisfying when it does work, isn't it? It is the best feeling in the world when you get that text or that phone call. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you convinced me to go out with this person. We had a wonderful time. We're going out again, or they're engaged and they're having kids. That that's really what makes it all worth it.
yeah, yeah. I never thought that getting into this business, I would have a niche of helping out people who want to date Asian women. I guess that just kind of fell in my lap. But I find that I like having a niche where it's like I could just target them and help them. So that's been a very unique thing. Do you have a niche in your business?
I don't. I like to work with people who are sane. No, I'm kidding, sort of. But no, like I said, I'll work with younger people, as long as they are intentionally dating.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. We want to make sure you're dating with intention. You truly want to find someone. I'm not in it to, hook you up or anything like that. I'm not a dating service. I'm a relationship service.
Yeah. Good, good. So, what got you into this business? How did you start your business, and what prompted you to be in the love industry?
Well, it's funny. I've always been a connector. It excites me to put people together, and I've always done that. So I had mentioned that I married that guy that was perfect on paper. We got a divorce. So it was time for me to get my act together. So I went, getting jobs and things like that. I've done a lot of things in the past. And I came across an ad for a matchmaker. And I was like, you get paid for being a matchmaker? So I worked for this company for a while. They didn't turn out to be the best company, but I learned a lot. And I learned that, you know what, I can do this myself. I can do it ethically and I can make people happy and help people find love and have fun while I'm doing it.
So, what is your best piece of advice to give to someone who's in their 30s or in 40s, like the younger folks?
The younger folks, don't give up. Open your mind a little bit. And you know what? You don't have to just meet someone through a matchmaker, through a dating app, or anything like that. Go to the grocery store. Not all of us really want to talk to people at the grocery store all the time, but gosh, that's a great place to meet someone, and you're going to get turned down a few times, but just chalk it up to experience. That's okay. And the next day, tell yourself you're going to go up to someone that day. If you get shot down, that's okay. You're working your way towards something. Every time you're shot down, every bad date is getting you closer to the person that you need to find.
Yeah. I think my biggest advice to give to 30s and 40-year-olds is to tell your friends who are married or single that you're single and that you're looking, and this is the age range, this is the requirement. Like, just give them 3 things to look for. Hey, if you find a guy for me that meets these criteria, I'll go out with him, and just go out on a ton of dates that your friends set you up with, or ask them to invite you to a party next time they go to one. Like, who knows who you'll meet? But yeah, at the grocery store the other day, I was talking to some guy and I convinced him to check out burro racing, which is racing with a donkey. And I was just
Really?
having the best conversation with him. And of course, he's married, I'm married, but I was just chatting with him at the grocery store, and you just never know who you'll meet, right? So, yeah,
Well,
that's
you can't be creepy about it. Some guys, they don't mean to. I really truly believe most of them don't mean to. So you
yeah.
just pick up a conversation, like if you're over looking at vegetables or something like that, pick up a weird looking fruit and say, "Gosh, have you ever had this before? This is weird," you know?
Right. I mean, there's so many ways of chatting someone up if you really focused on that. So, what about biggest advice you could give to someone in their 50s and 60s?
Don't lose hope. Love is still out there. You still have time to find that love. Open yourself up to finding love. Like we are talking about finding people everywhere. Just being open to receiving love and putting yourself out there is important. It's scary. And I think also doing the work on yourself. If you've been hurt in the past, deal with that stuff,
Yeah,
because no matter what you do, that is going to come out in your relationship. And what you put out into the world is what you're going to get back.
right, right. And if they're going to the grocery store or going to get coffee somewhere, to pay a little bit more attention to what they look like, right? Like, if you look good and you'll feel good and you'll be more confident and you'll talk to somebody, and you just never know who you'll meet. I mean, we're so many times we're just on our phones now. I mean, you could
Now,
literally go to the DMV and everyone in line is on their phone. Like, everyone waiting somewhere is on their phone now. Like, maybe that should be like a challenge. Like, just leave your phone in the car and just go into Costco by yourself and not carry your phone with you. Yeah,
that's a lot of it because they may be looking, so they're somewhere and they're swiping on their phone, looking at the apps when there's all these amazing people all around them.
right, right. I know, I know. So, what's one piece of advice that, knowing what you know now from many, many years ago when you first started your business, what's one takeaway that you can advise singles out there?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. I've learned so much. That is the awesome thing of, about working with seasoned matchmakers like you and everyone. We're just so eager to teach everybody and to help everyone out. So I've learned so much from everyone and from my clients. I guess, just the being open to it, really. Being honest with yourself, honest with that person, being happy and just ready to go out there and find yourself some love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important when you're doing online dating. I don't know whether you're doing 2 or 3 apps at the same time. I always like to advise them to use different photos in different apps. Like, if your name is Paula on one, maybe you can use a nickname on another, but then change up the photos and also change up the verbiage on the dating apps. Like, don't copy and paste what you put on Match.com to what you put on eHarmony or on Tinder or Hinge or whatever. It's like, take the time to change up your profile just in case that guy is on both apps and he sees your info. Like, you just never know. Like, if you find that you're not getting hits on one app, well, kind of change the way you go about it on the second app. I mean, online dating is kind of like you're marketing yourself, right? So, what
Right.
are different marketing techniques that you have to use to attract who you want to attract? And I always tell people that if you're not getting the hits that you want to get about the kind of guy you want, then there's something in your profile that you need to change, you know? There is something in your profile that you need to change if you're not getting the right attention from the right people that you want. So,
Yes, don't put on your profile what you don't want.
Right. Don't be
Nothing
negative,
negative.
right? Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, no, I don't like this. I don't, if you're into games, blah, 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 figure that out because people are going to swipe and go away from you because of that negative energy you're putting out there. I think the best guys' profiles are the ones that are funny. Every woman, that's one thing that a woman can get over looks and height and things of a guy if he makes her laugh. I,
So sense of humor is so important, right?
it
To
is.
display in the but what if you can't come off as funny on a dating profile? Do you just kind of list the kind of shows that you find funny, the kind of sense of humor that you have? I mean, how do you convey your type of sense of humor on a dating profile?
That is tough because people are going to look at the words because it is just words and they're going to take it a few different ways. You got to talk to Erica about those. Erica's the expert on that. I don't help people with I help people a little bit with the online dating, but I refer to Erica usually for more of the online things.
Okay, you're referring to Erica Eaton, right? Ettin.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll put her information in the show notes in case someone needs help with their online dating profiles. But yeah, I mean, I was not a funny person growing up, for sure not. But I think as the years have gone by and you watch funny things or you like certain comedies, I think you kind of adapt to that kind of sense of humor. I think the only way for me to convey what my sense of humor is like telling people, yeah, I like the Big Bang Theory or Two and a Half Men, or here's some shows that I find that are funny. Because realistically, I don't laugh at all kinds of shows. So there are shows that I'm like, I don't think that's funny at all. So maybe that is a way to share your type of humor with
Mhm.
somebody. What do you find funny, Paula?
Gosh, I find a lot of things funny. Right now, Dave Chappelle is really making me laugh. And, I love Seinfeld, The Office.
Yeah.
I love all sorts of things. I think for you, if you were to go on a dating app as a woman that loves poker the way you do, I would say, I bet you I can clean you out on poker, set it up like that.
Right.
And guys, I think a lot of guys would find that funny. Like, oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
take me on in poker. We'll see about that. And
Right.
just, not taking yourself so seriously.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I always tell people, my clients, that it's okay to be quirky. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to just let people know what your personality is really like. And, if they find it charming, they're going to come back for more and ask you out on a second date. So there's nothing wrong with just being yourself, right? Being authentic. So,
Yes, being authentic, showing up with a good attitude and listening. That's a big one. Not
yeah.
speaking over people. Really, you go on a date to learn about people and for them to learn about you. And it should be a good, nice back and forth about both of you. You don't want to just, be the only one that's talking. And I myself, I have to watch out for that because I'm a talker and that's what I do for a living. I talk. So I need to sort of settle down and put myself back and say, okay, take a deep breath and listen to what he has to say and really listen to him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Paula, thank you so much for chatting with me today. How would people find you, and any last words from you before we close out the show?
Well, you can find me. I have a website, bloommatchmaking.com. Of course, I'm on Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn. You can give me a call also, 804-244-1398. And my luck is, don't lose hope. The person's out there. Every bad date, every bad conversation is getting you closer to finding your true person.
That's true. That's true. Don't lose hope, people. And if you're listening out there and you want to be part of my database, you can go to twoasianmatchmakers.com. And ladies, register with me, fill out a profile. And men, if you're looking to hire a matchmaker, I would love to help you out. So check out twoasianmatchmakers.com. And Paula with Bloom Matchmaking, thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you, May.